welcome to the very first session of my show. So today I will be discussing the topic domestic abuse and what should one do if they find themselves in such a situation. So domestic abuse has been on the rise in general lately, and we've seen a lot of women lose their lives. A lot of these women are afraid to leave their relationships. They feel like they have to endure the abuse to be in it, to be able to stay in the relationship. But in my opinion, it's better to have your life than to lose it. So let's be cautious of what's happening around us and, stay safe and look after ourselves and protect ourselves and our children. What is domestic violence? So domestic violence is violence committed by someone in the victim's domestic circle. So usually the abuse or the violence occurs in the person's immediate intimate circle. So that could be a partner, that could be a friend, that could be relatives, a brother, parents. It could even be children. It could be anybody in the person's immediate intimate circle. So there's usually a power gap between the offender and the victim. So usually the victim looks up to the offender, so if it's like a relationship, clearly if it's a woman, she's looking up to her husband for support, some kind of support. So there are 4 various types of domestic abuse or domestic violence, and my reference, I did some research from Google. So the first is physical abuse, the second is emotional abuse, the third is economic abuse, and the last is psychological abuse. So physical abuse, this includes actions such as pushing, slapping, punching, and biting. So literally physical abuse is when there's a physical impact, when the person is hitting or scratching or physically attacking the victim. That's physical abuse. And also emotional abuse this typically begins verbally. So usually the person starts attacking you verbally, that they attack your emotions, they attack your confidence, your value, your sense of value. They attack it by saying things that will make you feel little, like less than your value or less than your worth. So literally their goal is to make you feel worthless. That is literally their goal, and they just use the verbal abuse to belittle you, to make you feel intimidated by them, to humiliate you, and to have you wrapped around their finger or to have you fear them. This is why they do this. So economic abuse, this can happen when a partner doesn't allow their spouse to have control over their own finances. In most cases, abusers won't allow their partners to work to achieve any form of independent success. So they are literally making you depend on them because they have plans to control you, control your finances, or sometimes they control you, they control your finances in order to get to you to control you, so you don't really have your independence, you're always dependent on them. But as much as in a marriage situation, the woman, example, can be dependent on the man, she should be able to have control over her own finances. Couples save, each couple have how they manage their finances. Some couples save together, others have independent and individual bank accounts. Some have joint bank accounts and individual bank accounts. But personally, I think a woman should have some kind of independent finance, because you never know when the man is going to strike. You never know when you're going to get divorced. You never know when the other person is going to leave. So this could either go for the man or the woman. So it's safe to have some kind of account or some finance somewhere, so that in case the worst happens, you've got something to follow. It could even be a business. You could have your business running and have your business account where your profits and savings are in, so that just in case anything goes wrong with the marriage, you're not you're not stripped of everything. Because that tends to happen quite a lot. A lot of women are stripped of everything, after a divorce. A lot of, especially with African marriages, the men tend to go for younger women at a certain age, when the woman has had her kids and she's probably menopausal, and she's literally just at a certain age where she isn't probably looking to dating, or she's just looking to enjoy her marriage, or she's just looking to relax or rest, and then the man just goes for another woman. If this woman who is divorced doesn't really plan, she's literally stripped of everything. I've seen a few videos on social media where the woman has been stripped of everything, and the partner, the husband, has divorced her and gone for a younger woman. So in my opinion, you know, have some kind of savings or investment on the side, even if you have a joint bank account with your partner, just in case it goes wrong. You know, you have somewhere to go to, because it happens all the time. I've seen it happen so many times. So the characteristics, I'm going to briefly talk to you about the characteristics of an abuser. You know, so there are certain qualities in an abusive person, or a potentially abusive person in a relationship, that you should look out for. So if you're lucky enough being in the relationship, you're not married, then you're lucky. You should, when you see these signs, maybe it's a sign that you stay out of the marriage and you stay out of the relationship. So the very first one is, if the person you love or live with does these things, it's time to get some help. They keep track of what you're doing all the time and criticize you for little things. So they are literally, it's a bit controlling as well. They're literally after you. They are keeping track of everything you're doing. They are criticizing everything you're doing. You see that the feeling of worthlessness starts with criticism. Because when you're criticized over and over and over again, you start to feel like nothing you do is ever good enough. And some of these men, they will tell the women that you're worthless. I'm the only one who is ever going to love you. You know, the men tell the women, you know, I'm the only one who's ever going to love you. You're worthless. You're not going to find anyone who loves me, who loves you like I do. But in reality, all they're doing is abusing these women. They're not loving them. They're abusing them. They're controlling them. And some of the women buy into it, because over the years, they've been abused so much. They've lost their self-worth, so they think that really this is the only man who's going to put up with me, or he loves me. But really, it isn't love. Love doesn't treat a person like that. So literally, they constantly accuse you of being unfaithful. You know, that's like an emotional card. So they are constantly criticizing you of being unfaithful, but really you are faithful, and they just keep getting at you all the time. And that is just a way they get to you emotionally. It's like mind games. You're playing with your mind. So they prevent or discourage you from seeing friends or family, or going to work or school. In this situation, they tend to isolate you. They might isolate you from friends. They might isolate you from family. They might isolate you. They might make sure you don't work, or you don't have any business on the side, and you're totally dependent on them. And as a result, you have no support system, because what they're doing, they aren't supporting you, they're abusing you. So really, you have no one to go to. So you find yourself in a place where you're lonely, you're isolated, you're on your own, you have no one to go to, and they just abuse you and abuse you and abuse you at their own expense and at their pleasure. So they get angry when drinking alcohol or using abuse. They are usually alcohol abusers, and drug abusers tend to be abusive, because you know, when they take the alcohol and the drugs and they get high, they just, the next thing they are coming at, really. So they humiliate you in front of others. That's a really bad sign. You know, when people love and respect you, they shouldn't really humiliate you in front of others. So when they are humiliating you in front of others, that's a really bad sign. So if you're dating someone and they're doing that, take note. You know, so they control all the money you spend. You know, control freaks. They are controlling the money you spend. They are monitoring you. Sometimes it can be a good thing, like when you have someone who is supporting you financially. When I say that in the sense where maybe you're a spendthrift, you just spend and spend and spend, and they are helping you to spend less. I mean, that's a positive thing. That's a good thing. But usually abusers, you know, they have the way of controlling your money. Sometimes it's your hard-earned money, and they want to have control over it. Literally, they want to control everything about your life. So you should be able to tell when he is trying to help you not spend all your money, and when he's controlling your finances. You should be able to tell. You need to be able to strike the balance, you know. If you know in your heart that they are supporting you, if you're spending, you know, carelessly and they're trying to support you, I think you would know. But if you need to spend and they're preventing you from spending, then that's where the abuse comes in. But if you're spending carelessly and they're trying to help you from spending carelessly, then that is supporting you. But if they're trying to stop you from spending on what you need, that is abuse. So I'm just going to give a bit of the support line for domestic abuse. So if you live in the UK, please call the National Domestic Abuse Helpline on 0808 2000 247. That's 0808 2000 247. If you live in Ghana, please contact the Dovisu Domestic Violence Victim Support Unit, which is formerly the Women and Juvenile Unit, WAJU, on 055 1900. That's 055 1900. Or toll-free call on 18555. This is Ghana. Don't suffer alone, seek help. So I hope you enjoyed your time with me. Follow me on my Instagram page on Gloria Hassall, and follow me on my business page at Glandis Essentials. Follow me on my other page at Gloria Hassall Foundation. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter. Like and share this video. Stay safe and see you in my next video. I love you. Bye.
Gloria Hassall Show comes your way every Saturday, 7 p.m. on Sunny TV with your host, Gloria Hassall, to break down the importance of addressing and discussing issues like current affairs, marriage, culture, economy, health, wealth, and education on Gloria Hassall Show, 7 p.m. every Saturday on Sunny TV.